Maxwell Sterling stood in front of 200 engineers, the smartest minds in technology, and threw down a challenge no one could solve, an algorithm that had stumped MIT professors, Silicon Valley geniuses, government think tanks. Fix this, and I'll give you $100 million. He laughed, because he knew it was impossible. But in the back of the room, wiping down tables, a janitor stopped moving. Her 12-year-old daughter looked up from her homework, stared at the equation on the screen, and whispered 4 words that made the room go silent. I know the answer. Maxwell turned, saw a child in a worn dress holding a pencil, and made the biggest mistake of his life. He mocked her. But when she walked to that board and wrote the solution in 30 seconds flat, everything changed. Because what Maxwell discovered about this girl didn't just cost him his arrogance. It revealed a secret that would bring his entire empire crashing down. Have you ever underestimated someone and regretted it instantly? Stay until the end. This story will stun you. Drop a comment if you're ready. Maxwell Sterling was 47. Billionaire tech mogul, CEO of Sterling Innovations, self-made, brilliant, arrogant. He'd built his fortune on being smarter than everyone else, and he never let anyone forget it. Today's conference was typical. 200 top engineers gathered. Maxwell unveiled his latest project, an AI defense system, worth billions to governments worldwide. But there was a problem. One piece of code wouldn't work. An encryption algorithm that kept breaking. He'd hired the best teams, spent 2 years trying to fix it. Nothing worked. So Maxwell did what he always did, turned it into a spectacle. He displayed the broken code on the massive screen. Gentlemen and ladies, 2 years, millions of dollars, and we're stuck, he smiled. So here's my offer. Fix this algorithm, and I'll personally write you a check for $100 million. Gasps. Whispers. Phones came out. People started scribbling notes. Maxwell continued. Of course, if none of you brilliant minds can solve it, what does that say? It says I'm still the smartest person in the room. Laughter. Confident. Entitled. In the back, Rosa Martinez pushed her cleaning cart. Invisible as always. She'd worked as a janitor at Sterling Innovations for 6 years. Early mornings, late nights. Cleaning up after people who never saw her. Her daughter, Catalina, sat at a back table, doing homework while waiting for her mother's shift to end. Catalina was 12, homeschooled, brilliant in a way Rosa couldn't understand. The girl had taught herself calculus at 9, was reading quantum physics textbooks for fun, but they were poor. Rosa worked 3 jobs. They lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. No money for private schools or tutors. Just a girl with a gift and no opportunities. Catalina looked up from her math homework, saw the equation on the screen, tilted her head. Rosa noticed. Mija, what is it? Catalina stood, walked closer. Engineers were still scribbling, arguing about approaches. Maxwell was enjoying himself, pacing, pontificating. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why innovation is so difficult. A small voice interrupted. I know the answer. The room went silent. Maxwell turned, saw a child, 12 years old, brown skin, worn clothes, standing beside a cleaning cart. Excuse me? Catalina spoke clearly. Your algorithm. I know how to fix it. Maxwell's face shifted. Amusement, condescension. Do you now? Yes, sir. And who are you? Catalina Martinez. Are you an engineer? Miss Martinez? No, sir. A programmer? No. Then how could you possibly? Because the error is in line 47. You're using the wrong variable sequence. The room stirred. Maxwell walked closer, towering over her. Line 47? Yes. You need to inverse the encryption key before applying the hash function, not after. One of the engineers gasped. She's right. Maxwell's smile vanished. What? The engineer pointed. Look, line 47, she's absolutely right. Maxwell stared at the screen, then at Catalina. Impossible. Would you like me to show you? Maxwell's pride wrestled with his curiosity. Curiosity won. Fine, show me. Catalina walked to the front. Every eye in the room followed. She picked up a marker, began writing. Her hand moved quickly, confidently, rewriting the code. Engineers leaned forward, whispered to each other. Maxwell stood frozen. 30 seconds later, Catalina stepped back. Try it now. An engineer ran the code. The room held its breath. The screen flashed. Green. It works. Silence. Then chaos. Engineers erupted. How did she? That's impossible. She's 12. Maxwell stared at Catalina. Who taught you this? No one. I read about encryption algorithms online. Online? Yes, sir. The library has free internet. Maxwell's face flushed. Pride wounded. Ego shattered. He should have congratulated her. Honored the deal. Instead, he laughed. Coldly. You expect me to give $100 million to a child? You said anyone who fixed it. I was speaking to professionals. I fixed it. Lucky guess. Catalina's eyes hardened. It wasn't luck. Maxwell waved her off. Security. Remove this child and her mother. Rosa stepped forward. Panicked. Please, Mr. Sterling. She meant no disrespect. Your daughter disrupted my conference. You're both banned from this building. Sir, I need this job. You should have thought of that before letting her interrupt. Security approached. Rosa grabbed Catalina. They were escorted out. The room watched in stunned silence. Maxwell turned back to his engineers. Now, where were we? But the energy had shifted. People looked at him differently. With disappointment, disgust. Maxwell felt it, and hated it. The video went viral. Someone had recorded Catalina solving the problem, posted it online. Within hours, it had 10 million views. The headlines were brutal. Billionaire mocks child genius. 1 2-year-old solves what MIT couldn't. Maxwell Sterling, smartest in the room? Maxwell's PR team panicked. Sir, this is bad. I was protecting my company. You humiliated a child. She embarrassed me first. She solved your problem. Maxwell threw his phone. Fix this. Make it go away. They tried. Press releases. Damage control. But the internet doesn't forget. Especially when you're wrong. Meanwhile, offers poured in for Catalina. Universities wanted to test her. Tech companies wanted to hire her. News outlets wanted interviews. Rosa was overwhelmed. She'd lost her job. Had no income. But suddenly, her daughter was famous. A professor from Stanford called. Miss Martinez, your daughter is extraordinary. We'd like to offer her a full scholarship. She's 12. We'll create a special program. She can study remotely until she's ready for campus. Rosa looked at Catalina. What do you think, mija? Catalina was quiet, then spoke. I want Mr. Sterling to honor his word. The professor paused. The $100 million? He promised. He should pay. Mija. He'll never. He should. The story got bigger. Child prodigy demands. Billionaire keep promise. Legal experts weighed in. Was it a binding contract? Maxwell said it publicly. Offered payment for a solution. Catalina provided it. Technically, she had a case. Maxwell's lawyers advised settlement. Pay her something. Make this go away. I'm not giving a child $100 million. Then give her 10, 5, anything. I'm not giving her anything. Sir, this is destroying your reputation. My reputation is built on being right. I won't let a child make me look weak. Pride. Stupid, destructive pride. The board called an emergency meeting. Maxwell, this needs to end. I'm handling it. You're making it worse. Stock prices are dropping. Clients are concerned. Because of a girl? Because of how you treated her. Maxwell stood. I built this company. I make the decisions. And we're telling you to fix this. Or what? Or we'll fix it for you. Maxwell stormed out. But the pressure mounted. Protests outside his building. Number pay Catalina trending worldwide. Partnerships falling through. Maxwell's empire was crumbling. All because he couldn't admit he was wrong. One night, alone in his office, Maxwell did something he hadn't done in years. He searched for information about Catalina. Found articles, interviews, background. Catalina Martinez, age 12, homeschooled. Mother, Rosa Martinez, single parent, works multiple jobs. Father, unknown. Maxwell scrolled through photos. Stopped on one. Catalina at age 6. standing with her mother. Rosa looked younger, but familiar. Maxwell zoomed in. Something about her face. He'd seen her before. Not as a janitor. Before that, he opened his old company files. Searched employee records from 15 years ago. Found it. Rosa Martinez. Junior software engineer. Hired 2008. Left 2010. Maxwell's blood ran cold. He remembered her now. Young, talented, brilliant. She'd worked on his team. They'd had a brief relationship. He'd ended it when she got serious. Told her he didn't do commitments. She'd left the company shortly after. He never thought about her again. Until now. Maxwell did the math. Rosa left in 2010. Catalina was born in 2011, 12 years ago. His hands shook as he pulled up Catalina's birth date. The 15th of March 2011, 9 months after Rosa left. No. Maxwell stood, paced. It couldn't be. But the resemblance. Catalina had his eyes, his bone structure, his mind. Oh, God. Maxwell grabbed his coat, left the building, drove to the address listed in Rosa's old employee file, a small apartment in a rough neighborhood. He knocked. Rosa answered. Her face went pale. "What are you doing here?" "We need to talk." "There's nothing to say." "Is she mine?" Rosa's eyes filled. "Leave." "Is Catalina my daughter?" Rosa tried to close the door. Maxwell stopped it. "Answer me." Rosa's voice broke. "Yes. If you discovered you had a child you never knew about, what would you do?" Comment below because Maxwell's about to face the hardest truth of his life. Maxwell stood in the hallway, frozen. Rosa wiped her eyes. "You need to leave. I have a daughter. You have nothing. You made that clear 12 years ago. I didn't know. I tried to tell you. You blocked my number, refused my emails. Why didn't you? What? Show up at your office? Get escorted out by security?" Rosa's voice rose. "You made it clear you wanted nothing to do with me. I wasn't going to beg. So you just never told me? I protected my daughter from a man who didn't want her." Maxwell stepped back. Stung. From inside the apartment, a voice called, "Mom?" Catalina appeared. Saw Maxwell. Her face hardened. "What's he doing here?" Rosa put a hand on her shoulder. "Go to your room, mija." "No." "Catalina, he owes us. He's not leaving until he pays." Maxwell looked at this girl, his daughter. Fierce, brilliant, unafraid. Everything he thought he valued. "I came to talk." "About what? How you humiliated my mom. Got her fired?" "I didn't know. You didn't care. You never care about anyone but yourself." The words hit like knives. Because they were true. Maxwell had spent his life stepping on people, using them, discarding them. He thought it made him strong. But standing here, facing his daughter's contempt, he felt weak. "You're right." Catalina blinked. "What?" "You're right. I've been selfish, arrogant, cruel. Then why are you here?" "Because I just found out you're my daughter, and I don't know what to do." Silence. Rosa and Catalina stared. "You knew?" Catalina asked her mother. Rosa nodded. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because he didn't deserve you." Maxwell flinched. "But deserved or not, I'm here now. 12 years late." "I know." "So what do you want?" Catalina asked. "Forgiveness?" "No. I want to make things right." "You can't." "I can try." "How?" Maxwell pulled out his phone. Made a call. "Transfer $100 million to Catalina Martinez." "Sir, are you?" "Do it. Now." He hung up. Looked at Catalina. "You earned it. You'll have it by morning." Catalina's eyes widened. Rosa gasped. "Maxwell, it's hers. I made a promise. I should have kept it. This doesn't fix anything." "I know. But it's a start." The money transferred. News broke immediately. Maxwell Sterling pays child prodigy $100M. The internet exploded. Redemption arc. Public opinion shifted slightly. But Maxwell didn't care about public opinion anymore. He cared about Catalina and Rosa, his family. The family he'd abandoned without knowing. He showed up at their apartment the next day. Rosa answered, guarded. "What now?" "I want to be part of her life." "Why?" "Because she's my daughter." "You didn't want a daughter 12 years ago." "I was wrong. About everything." Rosa studied him. "One chance, Maxwell. You hurt her, and you're gone. Understood. Maxwell started small. Asked if he could take Catalina to dinner. Rosa allowed it. Catalina was skeptical. They went to a quiet restaurant. Sat across from each other. Awkward. So, Catalina said. So, this is weird. Very. Why are you really here? Because I spent my whole life thinking success was everything. Then I watched you solve in 30 seconds what took me 2 years. And I realized I don't know anything. Catalina almost smiled. That's the smartest thing you've said. Maxwell laughed. Your mother raised you well. She's the best. I know. Do you? I'm starting to understand. They talked. About science, math, ideas. Catalina was brilliant. Maxwell had never met anyone like her. Because she's your daughter, a voice whispered. Over weeks, Maxwell visited regularly. Brought books, equipment, opportunities. He funded Catalina's education. Not to show off, but because she deserved it. Stanford created a special program. Catalina could learn remotely. Maxwell hired tutors. Built her a lab. Gave her resources she'd never had. Rosa watched carefully. Ready to pull the plug if he hurt her daughter. But Maxwell was changing. Slower at work. Present at home. Home. He'd started thinking of their apartment as home, even though he didn't live there. One evening, he asked Rosa something. Can we talk? They sat on her small balcony. I want to do more. More how? For you. For Catalina. Let me buy you a house. Rosa stiffened. We don't need charity. It's not charity. It's responsibility. We've survived this long without you. I know, but you shouldn't have had to. Rosa looked at him. Really looked. Why are you doing this? Because I was given a second chance I don't deserve, and I'm not wasting it. What do you want, Maxwell? Honestly? He met her eyes. I want my family back. Rosa's breath caught. We were never a family. We could be. It's been 12 years. I know, and I can't get them back. But maybe we can start now. Rosa was quiet, then spoke. I don't trust you. I know. And Catalina needs stability. I'll give it to her. How do I know you won't leave again? You don't, but I'm asking you to let me prove it. 1 year later, everything was different. Catalina was thriving. Enrolled at Stanford at 13. Youngest student in history. Double majoring in computer science and mathematics. Featured in Time magazine. MIT wanted her for their research team, but she stayed at Stanford because Maxwell had endowed a scholarship there for underprivileged gifted children. The Catalina Martinez Scholarship. She'd cried when he told her, named after her. Not him. Rosa had accepted a position at Sterling Innovations. Lead software engineer, the job she should have had 12 years ago. She was brilliant. Maxwell had forgotten that, or never really noticed. Now he noticed everything. The way she solved problems. Her quiet strength. Her fierce love for their daughter. Their daughter? He thought of Catalina that way now. Not his. Theirs. Maxwell had changed, too. Stepped back from daily operations. Let his COO run things. Spent time with family. Attended Catalina's lectures. Had dinner with Rosa. Slowly rebuilt what he'd destroyed. On Catalina's 14th birthday, Maxwell did something unexpected. He proposed. Not to Rosa. To both of them. In their living room. No cameras. No spectacle. Just the three of them. He knelt. Catalina, I know I missed your first 13 years, and I'll regret that forever. But I'm asking for the next 70. Let me be your father, officially. Catalina's eyes filled. He turned to Rosa. And Rosa, I was a fool. I chose ambition over love, success over family. I can't change the past, but I'm asking for a future. Marry me, not for money or status, but because I love you, both of you. Rosa cried. Catalina looked at her mother. Mom? Rosa looked at Maxwell. This man who'd hurt her, left her, but had spent a year proving he'd changed. You broke my heart. I know. If you do it again, I won't. How do I know? You don't. But I'm asking you to trust me. Rosa took a shaky breath, looked at her daughter. Catalina nodded. Rosa turned back to Maxwell. Yes. They married 6 months later. Small ceremony. Catalina as maid of honor. A few close friends. No media circus. Just love. Maxwell looked at his family. His wife. His daughter. Everything he'd almost lost. Everything he didn't deserve, but had been given anyway. At the reception, Catalina gave a speech. A year ago, my mom and I had nothing. Now we have everything. Not because of money, but because someone finally showed up. She looked at Maxwell. You weren't there when I was born. But you're here now, and that matters. Maxwell stood, hugged his daughter, whispered, "Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for taking it." Years later, Catalina graduated Stanford. At 16, top of her class, founded her own tech company, revolutionary AI applications, worth billions. She didn't need Maxwell's money, but she kept his name. Catalina Martinez Sterling, a bridge between two worlds. On the day her company went public, she rang the opening bell. Maxwell and Rosa stood beside her, proud. A reporter asked a question. "Catalina, what's the secret to your success?" She smiled. "My mom taught me to never give up, and my dad taught me that it's never too late to start. Both lessons matter." That night, the three of them had dinner. At the same restaurant where Maxwell and Catalina first talked, Maxwell raised his glass. "To second chances," Rosa added. "To forgiveness." Catalina finished. "To family." They drank, and Maxwell thought about that day, when he'd mocked a child, nearly destroyed everything, but instead found everything. His daughter, his wife, his purpose. All because a 12-year-old girl was brave enough to say, "I know the answer." The end. A billionaire who thought he knew everything. A janitor's daughter who proved him wrong. And a family built from the ashes of pride. Maxwell's arrogance almost cost him everything. But Catalina's courage gave him a second chance. Sometimes the people we underestimate are exactly the ones who change our lives. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment. Have you ever been underestimated? Or underestimated someone else? Your stories inspire these stories. Until next time, stay humble, stay curious, and never judge a book by its cover. Because genius shows up in the most unexpected places. Bye.